Hello, welcome to our session today, EFT for healthy relationships. So, whether you are completely new to EFT or you've experienced it before, welcome. I'm really happy to have you here. I like to start most of my sessions by saying that whether you are a complete beginner, whether you've dipped your toe in before and you're just sort of revising it, coming back to it, or maybe you've done loads of EFT, or you have done a lot of work on healthy relationships. Either way, I'm sure that you'll get something from the session, and I'm excited to have you here. So thank you for joining. Where to begin? A little about me. So if you haven't come across me on these sessions before, then I'll just introduce myself briefly. So I'm Stella, and I have a business called Soul Space Unlimited, where I share Qigong, which I do on the virtual village hall. You may have experienced some of those sessions. Qigong is a breath exercise, a breath practice. It's sometimes called Tai Chi for health, and it's a lovely way to get moving and getting energy flowing. So that leads to the EFT. I do EFT with people one-to-one and in groups, and that's all about getting our energy flowing, getting any stuck emotions or stagnation in the system moving. So I'll go into that a bit more in a moment, and you'll experience it for yourself. And I also do hypnotherapy, and also have an arts background. So there's a bit of a mixture, but what brings all of that together is that I believe we all need and deserve these spaces where we can just slow down, where we can pause. The world can be overwhelming. There's a lot going on out there, and sometimes it can feel out of our control. So some things we can control are taking a deep breath, creating space in our day, doing sessions like this, checking in with ourselves, helping process our emotions, helping find more mindfulness. These are things that are going to be really, really helpful in feeling more resilient when the world does feel too much. So today, EFT for healthy relationships. EFT is an energy psychology. It's used as a one-to-one therapy. It can be very in-depth, working on things like trauma. That's not what we're doing today. Today it will be much more gentle, much more general, around some ideas and emotions, but on a surface level, because we're working, with a group. But it is about getting your energy flowing, your emotions flowing. So if we understand everything's made up of energy, and this can feel a bit baffling to some of us because of our sort of being brought up in a Western world that is very much what we sort of see. We need to see things tangible. Energy, we can't necessarily in everyday life really see it. It's something that is just there. But if we remind ourselves that we know it's there, physics has shown us this, everything's made up of energy, then we can soften to this idea a bit more and be a bit more curious about it. So everything's energy. We're going to get your energy flowing a bit today. And whatever that experience is like for you, really, it doesn't matter if we fully understand it in depth. It is an experiential experience. So just coming with an open mind is perfect. And the focus on healthy relationships, it's so important. The relationships in our life are very, very important, whether it's very like community focused relationships and connections. And the virtual village will do a wonderful job at bringing those connections, watching regular sessions, knowing that you can tune into whatever's going on for the week ahead. That's an example of building sort of a meaningful connection. And we want that in our communities, don't we? So it might be with your neighbours, it might be with somebody you see just down the street or you pass every day. Sometimes these connections, we might dismiss them as not important, but actually all of these connections are important. From the person you say hello to if they're walking their dog, or somebody you speak to on the phone regularly when you make an order, any of these things can be very beneficial for us. They help remind us that the world is a safe place, that people are there to open and connect with us. And then there's more deeper, more meaningful relationships in our life. And sometimes it might be an absence of those relationships, but we will address in our session today. And please know that you're not alone with that. We know that social isolation, feeling lonely is a huge issue in terms of our society, and a national issue as well as further, an international issue for public health. So there's a lot of issues around that, and a way that we can really help that is by understanding more about healthy relationships. And of course, the relationship we have with ourselves is really central and key to that. Because if we believe in ourselves and we have better self-worth, and we believe that we deserve to be treated well, the relationships in our life are going to reflect and mirror that. Whereas if we're in a place, and we've all been there, and if you're there right now, please know there's no judgment, that you're very welcome with whatever you bring to this session. We've all been there, absolutely. I think it's a part of the human journey. If we aren't feeling great about ourselves, we might be bringing some less healthy relationships, dynamics. People might be not treating us with the respect that we deserve. We might even be guilty of not treating other people with the respect that they deserve. We're all human. So in this session, we're going to give a bit of space to exploring that and what it means for you. Okay, so before we get into it, I'd like to make sure that you've got maybe some water, some kind of refreshment nearby, because part of the process is speaking out loud. Sometimes that means we might get a bit thirsty. And it's ideal to have, a nice, quiet, private, safe space if possible. It's not always possible. Depends on your setup at home. But just if you can make any adjustments, you can let somebody know that you don't disturb you for a little while. You'll be available after this time. So it'll be done, about midday, maybe just before. And also, it's not necessary, but pen and paper could really be a good resource, because there'll be a point where we might be doing a little bit of journaling. We're going to start off with exploring what a healthy relationship would feel like. So if you're anything like me, I'd forget, so I want to note things down. But like I say, not essential. Just make sure you're as comfortable as you can be. Do you need any more cushions? What do you need to be nice and comfy? Okay. So to begin, we're going to do this exploration of what a healthy relationship would feel like, because we might not have even ever thought about it. We might have taken it for granted, or maybe we haven't seen that many healthy relationships. Maybe we have, which is great, but a lot of us may not have. We might have grown up in households where we didn't see particularly respectful interactions, and there might have been a lot of stress, disconnection, loneliness. And that's something that is very common. But as we grow and become more aware, then we might reflect on that. And that's okay. That could be a part of a healthy process of opening to more healthy relationships in our life. Okay. So let's take a moment. And I want you to know that anything that comes up for you in this session, just be very gentle and kind with yourself. So you can pause this at any time. You can take a break if you need to, if it's not the right time. If you're feeling a bit triggered or stressed or very emotional by even this conversation, then it's probably not the right time to go into this. You might need some extra support. And that's okay. In fact, that's really good, taking care of yourself. If you're comfortable to go ahead, then continue with me. Closing the eyes, I'd like you to take some nice deep breaths. So just tuning with the body, soften the shoulders a few %. And see what other areas in your body you could soften. Maybe the shoulders, the neck, that whole area, the upper arms, the tummy. Might even be your hands, your thighs. And a few % of softening is enough. It doesn't need to be huge amounts for change. So we're just grounding a little, entering the moment. And if you've got thoughts whirling around, that's okay. See if you can bring your focus back to scanning your shoulders, following your breath. And if you notice that you're shallow breathing from your chest might be moving. See if you can deepen your breaths into the belly. So when you breathe in, Your belly's expanding like a balloon. And when you breathe out, that balloon deflates and lets go. And if you can, if this is appropriate for you, feel your feet on the ground, the sensation, feel your body in that chair, on that bed, wherever you're positioned. Just begin to tune into that feeling of the material under your body. And I'd like you to use your wonderful imagination. So all of our minds do work differently. I'm going to focus on visualization and the feelings in the body, kinesthetic, because that is very, very common for people. But if you aren't able to visualize, which is the case for some, then just explore the senses in whatever way feels right for you. And I'd like you, with your eyes closed, to visualize, to feel into what a healthy relationship looks like and feels like for you. So let's do this step by step together. I'd like you to imagine somebody. So this could be someone in your life. It might be someone that's in your life presently, or somebody from the past. It could be a teacher you remember from school. It might be a friend. It could be a family member. It might be, if none of that is working for you, you can imagine. It could be, making up this ideal person. That's okay as well. So the first step is thinking about this sense of being respected. So really connect with what it feels like when you've been respected. And it's mutual respect. So you show that to that person as well. How does that exchange look? Can you think of an example in your life where you've really felt respected? You've had a relationship based on that. And notice how that feels in your body. Because I'm guessing, it might feel good. See where that feeling in your body sits. And if there's not a connection with the body, that's okay. That's really common as well. So just see what you do tune into around that. And if you could guess what you feel, you could note that down. So it might be like confidence. It might be you feel you stand a bit taller. You might be happy. Whatever it brings up for you. So we're just being curious. And if this brings up any sadness or loss around not having that in your life as much as you want, honor that. That's okay as well. Okay. And now focus on trust. So we know healthy relationships, as well as respect, they need to have trust. So think about a time when there's been somebody in your life that you could trust, how you show people they can trust you. And it could be a tiny thing. It can be a tiny thing, like just showing up at a certain time when you said you would, making the call, this kind of thing. Just reflect back on your life, thinking about that person, somebody that you could trust, and what it felt like to be able to trust them. And again, if there isn't a specific person, you can imagine that feeling, because you'll know what that feels like. And sometimes it's showing up and trusting ourselves. So I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. It could be, when we have ideas or things we want to do in life, and sometimes we're all human, a lot of things we might not follow through. And actually, when we do follow it through, I know I'm actually going to do this thing. I said I wanted to do it. It's time. That builds trust with ourselves, because we're like, we showed up for ourselves. So that healthy relationship is both with us and also external. It's all interwoven. Think about that feeling, or maybe an example of trust in your life. And honesty. That's a tricky one, isn't it? Because we all potentially people please, and sometimes it's easier to tell a little white lie. So honesty is considered an integral part of healthy relationships. Think about that, honesty. What does it feel like to stand in your truth, to witness somebody else, just being honest with you? Sometimes it's not easy, is it, to hear honest words, but sometimes that's kind in itself. Saying something that we need to hear, we might not want to. How can we do that for other people too? Notice how that feels. Can you remember a time, an example? And the next one is a really big one, communication. Think about somebody in your life that represents really good communication. You always know where you stand with them. Seems to be a nice flow between you. You know, sometimes we meet people that communication just flows more easily, and sometimes we meet people where it's a bit more difficult and we have to work at it. Maybe tune into that sense of like good communication where you just know where you stand, everything flows. Notice how that feels in your body if you can. Okay. So you can note down anything that came up for you around that, but recreating these feelings in our body is very strong and powerful. But we know that our relationships are very important. We're relational beings, so we're not meant to live in isolation. And there's a lot of talk around social isolation and some of the over independence, hyper independence in more Western society, and some of the negatives of this. So becoming aware of that and thinking about what we can do. We all need a deserved, meaningful connection, and it is it's bigger than us. It's a societal thing. It's something that we all need as a society to be healthy. We need those connections. So we're going to focus in on that. And as I mentioned, some of it is based on the relationship with ourselves and our self-worth. So just be aware of that. But anything that I say, you don't have to repeat it if it doesn't feel right for you. You can adjust it. There might be something we cover that you're like, wow, that's really relevant. That's really landed. Focus in on that more. So I'll give you that opportunity to fill in some words maybe. I'll remind you to focus on what feels good for you. That's where you'll get the energy flowing more. Okay. And if you feel any energy moving around, if you feel the need to yawn, if you feel emotional, if you feel like you want to, hiccup or burp or sneeze or laugh, these are all ways the energy moves, and it's really important to let it move through and release it. So if we tense up and hold it in, that which quite often is our instinct, sadly, we are going to stop the healing process. So let it flow as much as you can. We'll start with tapping the outside of the hand. So it doesn't matter which hand or how hard or how quickly you do it. I'd like you to take some nice deep breaths. And just repeat after me. Even though I haven't always treated myself with respect, right now I choose to open to more respectful relationships in my life. Nice deep breath. Even though I don't always think I deserve it, I choose to be kind to myself and ask for more respect in my life. Even though human beings are really complicated, and sometimes relationships are hard. Right now, I choose to have healthy relationships. I'm open to learning more about this and the positive impact this will have on my life. Okay, we're going to tap the top of the head now, just here. So if you can't do any of these tapping points for like an issue of mobility, a disability and injury, then just miss them out. It's okay. You'll still get the benefit. I would suggest you focus and imagine tapping it. So repeat after me. I don't always feel respected. We're going to tap the inner eyebrows, just where your eyebrows begin. Sometimes I feel alone. Outer eyes. I would like more healthy relationships. Under the eyes. But I'm not sure how. Under the nose. Sometimes it's difficult. Under the mouth. People are really complicated. Just tapping here under the collarbone, there's a soft spot. And I'm the most complicated of all, because I'm a human as well. We're going to tap on the side, so it's just under the armpit on the side. If you wear a bra, it's where the bra strap is. It can be either side. Sometimes people like to do both. See what feels good for you. I'd like more meaningful relationships. Tapping across the wrist, again, either side. Sometimes I feel misunderstood, like nobody gets me. I think we've all felt like that at times, potentially. If you're sitting there thinking, I don't feel like that, then great. But I think a lot of us feel like that at some point. We can empathise with that sense. Tapping either side of the thumb, just where the nail begins. That's it. When I say next, we go on to the next finger. I'm not perfect. Next finger. Nobody's perfect. Next finger. But we still deserve good relationships. Next finger. And I'm curious about it. Next finger. I'm curious about what that looks like for me. Top of the head. I'd like to learn more about healthy relationships. Inner eyebrows. Because I confess I don't always communicate very well. So if you have some resistance to that, you think, I do, then that might be because you genuinely are a really good communicator. It could also be because you have some resistance maybe to that sense in yourself. And that makes total sense. So just take a deep breath. Try and soften the body. Outer eyes. I'd like to learn more about communication. Under the eyes. So I can have better relationships in my life. Under the nose. I'm not perfect. Under the mouth. And that's okay. Collarbone. Because I don't have to be perfect to have meaningful relationships. Under the arm. And I'm curious about it. About what a meaningful relationship looks like for me. Tapping the wrist. And I choose to be kind to myself as I look at this today. And fun. Because maybe I deserve mutual respect. Next finger. Maybe I deserve to feel I can trust somebody. Next finger. Maybe I choose honesty. Next finger. And I value communication. Next finger. And I'm willing to learn about these things. Okay, take a minute. So well done on keeping up if you're new to EFT. Hopefully I didn't go through the points too quickly for you. Just want you to tune into your body and notice how you feel. If you notice when we were tapping on a particular thing like communication or self-worth or trust, you might have noticed a particular feeling in your body or reaction or thought. You can note that down. That can be useful. And that can help give you a picture around maybe some of the blocks or the challenges that you have for healthy relationships in your life. We will all have challenges in building healthy relationships. So it's not about criticizing ourselves. It's about maybe shining a bit of light onto this area, And if we bring it out into the open, then we can do something about it. Okay. So we'll continue. We'll do a few more rounds. Remember, you can switch any words that you want to. So tapping the hand, we're going to do another what's called a setup statement. Even though I'm not perfect, sometimes I make mistakes, I can be kind of messy. So I was thinking like emotionally messy, but maybe it could be messy as a person as well, as in leaving stuff everywhere. Right now, I'm going to try to honor my needs for healthy relationships, for connection, perhaps in a new way today. Nice deep breath. Even though I've not always honored my needs. Sometimes I people please. Sometimes I cross my own boundaries. And right now, I'm willing to learn about that and to see if I can do things differently. So just to say, we've all got a journey learning about boundaries and people pleasing. If that's something that resonates for you, then please tune into that. You can explore that a bit more. So with healthy relationships, we want those healthy boundaries as well. So we want to be able to step back when we need to not lose ourselves in the connection, whilst also honouring, that it could be a very meaningful connection. So boundaries can be really important. Someone described to me recently that having good boundaries is kind of like being a vessel. So if we have that vessel and it's nice and robust and the boundaries in place, then we can be full, we can operate as this full vessel. We can give to the world and to people, and we can receive. But when that vessel has holes in it and we're losing our energy, then we are, then we've lost our boundary, and we can be feeling really drained, irritated, a bit lost. We might not know who we are, where we end, the other person begins. So it's good to be aware of that. Take a nice deep breath. Even though I don't always have good boundaries, sometimes I take on other people's stuff. Or sometimes I push people away and I don't want to talk to them. I choose to be kind to myself. Being human is difficult, and we're all just doing our best. And I choose to honour my needs. Top of the head. I've not always been good at honouring my needs. Inner eyebrows. I've had some unhealthy relationships in my life. So anything this brings up for you, just take a nice deep breath, soften the body. Take a pause if you need to. It's good to keep tapping though, it helps it move through. I'm going to try to believe that I deserve better. Under the eyes. I choose to treat people with respect. Onto the nose. And believe I deserve to receive respect in return. Onto the mouth. I want to be trustworthy. And to be able to trust people in return. Onto the collarbone, nice deep breath. Because I deserve healthy relationships. I deserve good people in my life. Under the arm. And I'd like to invite more connection, more meaningful connection into my life. Tapping the wrist. Sometimes I felt lonely. disconnected. And I have compassion for myself, tapping the thumb. Because I'm only human and I'm doing my best, tapping the finger. And sometimes it's difficult to let myself be seen, next finger. Sometimes it's easier to shut people out, to do it on my own, next finger. Or maybe sometimes I over-rely on people, next finger. I'm curious about these patterns and about how I can begin to heal them more today. Take a moment. So that might have stirred up some things, some emotions. With EFT, as I said, we're working with emotions and working with energy. Sometimes it brings things up to the surface and they feel a bit more intense. And the key is to let it flow, let it release. We're releasing stuck energy that's been stuck and wedged and crammed in there. But we want to do it as gently as we can. So that's why I said, breathe, soften, let it go. The deep breaths really help with that. You can note down anything you want to note down, anything that's coming up for you. If you find offshoots of particular topics like the self-worth, or perhaps the trust or the mutual respect, then just honour that. You can explore that a bit more. So on the playlist of EFT sessions, there are different themes that I've done over the years. You might find that one of those might help with that process for you. But just being curious and journaling is really good, taking some space after this session to honour whatever came up. Sometimes when we tap, we might have a memory come up. And that's something that might need a bit more intensive one-to-one supported work. So it's really important to be gentle with yourself, not to push yourself too much. Okay, tapping the hand. Even though sometimes I feel isolated, like nobody sees me. And right now, I choose to remember that I'm not alone, that I need and deserve connection, and I'm open to more connection in my life. Nice deep breath. Even though sometimes I don't feel worth it, sometimes I choose to hide away, to not show up as my full self. In this moment, I'm going to be really honest with myself. I consider the possibility of having more meaning, more connection in my life. Nice deep breath. Even though people are complicated, and sometimes it's easier not to bother. If I'm really honest with myself, it's probably worth it to have that meaningful connection in my life. And I just want to interject and say, whatever that looks like for you, I know we've explored it, but we're all in different places in our lives. Some of us might feel like that meaningful connection is, so it could be connecting outdoors. It could be, like I said, people you see in your local community, somebody you say hello to in your local coffee shop, part of your daily routine or weekly routine. These are all really valuable. So just honour what connections are in your life now, and also honour any grief that comes up around wanting more. And as I said, as we shine that light, then we can become aware, and then we can change things and take actions. It could be deciding to attend a group in our community, picking up the phone, speaking to that person that we've been meaning to call for ages. Might be taking some time with yourself. So, deep breath. Even though I'm not perfect, nobody is. I also honour that I deserve to have healthy relationships, that I want more connection, more trust, honesty, kindness. Just list some things that feel very important to you. We have different values. What's important to you in a meaningful relationship? See what comes up. Top of the head. And all these things that mean meaningful relationship to me, again, list the key ones. Explore them as you tap. Inner eyebrows. I'm open to more of this in my life. Outer eye. So we're going to do a little bit of something called opposite tapping. So part of EFT is acknowledging some of the negative, the heavy stuff. Sometimes people are like, but I don't want to focus on the negative. It feels really like bad to do that. This is a process of acknowledging like the heaviness and the negative, and then supporting it to move through as we meet it with self-acceptance. So it is that is part of the process, and it's how we move the energy through. So we'll just do a little bit of that together. I don't deserve healthy relationships. Under the eyes. I deserve healthy relationships. Under the nose. But what if I don't deserve healthy relationships? Under the mouth. Of course I deserve healthy relationships. Collarbone. So we're doing this opposite because inside of us there's always, almost always, parts that are kind of pulling and fighting in different directions. We can have a part of us that really believes that we deserve something and really calls it in and wants it and takes action to create it, like good communication, giving that kindness, that trust. And then there can be another part of us that might be really resistant to it, that might be really hard on us, or maybe we've been hurt in the past, we push it away. So these parts can be in conflict, they're like pulling, and that takes a lot of energy. So we're just acknowledging that possibility that there might be a part in us that resists or even attracts unhealthy relationships. That's very common. Sometimes we might just reproduce what we know because what we know is comfortable. So if we've been having unhealthy relationships for a long time, that we might not be as respected as we should be, then we might have got used to that. So there might be part of us that's like scared to change it. All of this is really natural. Under the arm. Go back to the opposites. I really deserve to be respected. Tapping the wrist. Part of me isn't sure. Part of me is scared of change and asking for more. Tapping the thumb either side. But I really want, see what you really want. What do you want in your relationships? Next finger. I would really like, next finger. I want the people in my life to really see me, for example. Next finger. To really treat me. How do you want them to treat you? Say it out loud. Next finger. And how do you want to treat yourself? Say that out loud as well. Top of the head. I wonder if I treat myself better, that other people will be able to learn how to treat me better too. Inner eyebrows. I wonder if I can show people how to treat me. Outer eyes. And build better relationships together. Into the eyes. I choose to celebrate all the good relationships I've had in my life. Under the nose. And I also choose to learn from the ones that haven't been so good. Under the mouth. Even though it's painful to look at it. Into the collarbone, nice soft spot. I'm open to learning more. I'm open to meaningful connection. And as you do this, you might be getting insights, thoughts, a sense of what that could be. There might be like an action you could take, which we touched on before, and that might be an instinct. It might be like a ping guiding you forward. So I encourage you to explore that. If any resistance is coming up, then acknowledge that. Just take a moment now to see if there's any resistance to this. It might be like, no, I'm not doing that. No, this is a load of rubbish. People are, terrible. Whatever comes up for you, just take a breath. It's all welcome. Soften the body. Just think, what if this could be different for me? What would my life look like if I had more healthy relationships? What kind of person would I be if I felt respected? If I felt seen? If there was honesty in my life? Nice deep breath under the arm. I'm curious about that person. Tapping the wrist. And I'm open to more healthy relationships. Tapping the thumb. Where I can show up as myself. Next finger. And I can let the other person show up as themselves as well. Next finger. Where there's mutual respect. Next finger. Where we're both practicing good boundaries as best we can. Next finger. Where we're able to talk and communicate. Top of the head. Feeling safe and comfortable to do so. In our eyebrows. Where I trust them and they trust me. Outer eyes. We may not be perfect. We might not get everything right under the eyes. And that's okay if we have these main things in place under the nose. The main thing is that there's trust and respect under the mouth. That I feel safe, comfortable, collarbone. That we can be honest and communicate. Show up as we are. I think we've all got people in our life where we feel seen. And it might be, like I said, somebody from the past, like a teacher, might have seen something in us. It might have been a friend's parent, or it might have been a grandparent. It could be a friend, a colleague, a carer, a partner. We've all got our different stories. It could even be a pet. We know that as humans we have such profound connections with our animals, and sometimes it's because they just accept us, right? We take care of them. In a way, they take care of us. So there's really such a wide range of places that we can get this. But I think we all deserve more of it. And imagine if we all had more of it, what a better place the world would be. So when you feel respected, when you feel you've got those things in place, like your support network, and you've got that good relationship with yourself. And if you haven't got that right now, you could just imagine what that would be and feel like we were doing earlier. How you might show up in a different way, might experience life in a different way, make slightly different decisions. Just seeing how profound the relationships in our life are under the arm. Also acknowledging that we're not perfect. So take a deep breath and repeat, I'm doing my best. Tapping the wrist. I would like better relationships in my life. Sometimes it's hard. Tapping the thumb. I'd like a better relationship with myself. Next finger. But it's not easy. Next finger. Maybe there's something I could do. Next finger. Just a small step today. Next finger. To build a better relationship with myself. Top of the head. And repeat, I wonder what that could be. I wonder what that would look like. In our eyebrows. A small step that I could do to have a better relationship with myself. Outer eyes. What could I do that would build that trust with myself? To show up for myself. Under the eyes. What about honesty? How can I be more honest with myself today? Under the nose. Maybe I'm already doing it right now. Maybe there is something I'd like to do. Under the mouth. To respect myself more. To respect my needs, my feelings, my health. collarbone. I'm curious about all of that and how I can grow more healthy relationships with other people in my life. Under the arm. And I remind myself that I'm only human and that humans are really complicated. Tapping the wrist. And I don't have all the answers right now. And that's okay. Tapping the thumb. Because I am willing to try. Next finger. And I've shown up today. Next finger. And open to the possibility of more healthy relationships. Next finger. Getting a bit clearer on what I want from the relationships in my life. Next finger. And any small steps I might take. Top of the head, do one more round, nice deep breath. I do have doubts about this, about whether I deserve it. Inner eyebrows, or maybe it's just bringing up difficult emotions for me. Outer eyes, and I choose to be patient and kind. Under the eyes, because I am only human, and I've shown up today. Under the nose, because healthy relationships are an important topic to me. Under the mouth, maybe I've learned something new today, or maybe I've just got curious. Maybe something will come to me later on. Collarbone. But I'm pleased that I've shown up today. And I'm building trust with myself. I'm learning about myself and how I can connect with other people as my true self. Under the arm. And I know it's not always easy. And that's okay. Tapping the wrist. Because every day is a new day. And I'm learning to honour my needs. Tapping the thumb. And I'm willing to learn more about this. Next finger. Giving myself permission to make mistakes. Next finger. Because I am only human. Next finger. And every day is a school day. Next finger. And I'm doing my best. So you can place your hands here if you want to, but just do a little breath. Check in with your body. Notice how it feels. So we did a few rounds together. Notice how the body feels after that. Does it feel more relaxed? Do you feel a bit lighter? Do you feel, perhaps you might feel more in your body, and that's okay, as long as it's not so intense. Just take a moment, journal, note down anything you want to, any highlights. You might do a bit more journaling after the session. Sometimes there's more that comes up you want to explore. As I said, if you need to go deeper with this work, please reach out to a mental health professional, somebody that can support you. And obviously, when we talk about relationships, the word safety is important. We did cover it a little bit, but if you feel that you are not in a safe relationship, if that's something you need support with, again, please reach out, speak to a support professional. It might be your GP, and we know that there's really important helplines. So if that's your case, please get the support that you need. If you feel that is about more sort of general healthy relationships in your life, then I encourage you to revisit this session, because I'm sure each time you visit it, you might find something new, a new light bulb moment, a new connection. Because as the energy shifts, we change, and the energy that we're moving through changes, and the actions we can take also change. So on that note, if you did have any ideas around what actions you could take, no actions too small, to build that relationship with yourself, or to extend and build it with your community or somebody in your life, please just note that down. It might just be one, or it might be a few, but try and make it realistic and manageable so you can do it either later today, tomorrow, this week, and then tick it off, building that trust with yourself. You're showing up for yourself. You're taking that step to welcome more healthy relationships in. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. I'm going to be back this week doing a session on Friday morning around mindfulness. We're going to be doing a nice mindful session, including meditation. So it'll be very relaxing, and you'll have some tools to take away as well to bring a bit more mindfulness into your life. Thank you so much for joining me. Please drink plenty of water, to keep that healing going. We've moved a lot of energy. Take really good care of yourself. Do whatever you need to do to take good care of yourself, please. And I look forward to sharing with you again soon. Take care. Have a good day.